Live from the CSI Softball Complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island, you're watching exclusive coverage of the 39th Annual CUNYAC Softball Championships right here on CSI Sportsnet. This afternoon in the sixth game of the tournament, the College of Staten Island will face Lehman College as they look to win their 20th NCAA CUNYAC championship, including 6 in a row. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Babuski along with Joe Foreman. And, you know, Joe, we just saw a stunning upset here as Lehman College was able to get great pitching from Diamond Villegas and clutch hitting from Miranda Cruz and Diamond Villegas and go on to upset Lehman College by a final score of 3-1. So it'll be Lehman College against the College of Staten Island here in the CUNYAC championship round. Lehman making their first appearance in this round since 2003.
And for our viewers who missed that first game of the day between the Lightning of Lehman College and the Hawks of Hunter College, you missed a great game as Lehman College pulls off the upset over the Hawks with a 3-1 victory. As Mike just mentioned, Diamond Villegas in the circle, 7 innings strong, 4 hits and 1 run. That run was unearned. She walked 2 and struck out 7. Fortunately for the Lightning, only had to throw 92 pitches to get through that game despite a couple of prolonged innings in there. So we assume Villegas will be back in the circle in game number 2, and she indeed will be as I double-check my lineup in front of me. And she will be opposed by Nicolette Trapani for the Dolphins, who has been rock solid for CSI all season. It's going to be tough for Lehman to win back-to-back games against a very tough Dolphins team, a Dolphins team that defeated the Lightning twice during the regular season.
Yeah, and, you know, Joe, this Dolphin team is not allowed to run here in the CUNYAC tournament here in 2018. Trapani coming off of a shutout victory, as is Allison Marr. And, you know, they're really firing on all cylinders now. They were able to defeat Baruch College in game number 1, and then against Hunter College exploded for 5 runs with 2 outs in the first inning and really never looked back. And, you know, for Lehman College, as we mentioned, Joe, they came in getting into the championship round here this afternoon after really coming up and playing a great game against Hunter College. You really can't say enough about how well Lehman played in that first game here this afternoon. Diamond Villegas, who's pitched every inning here in the tournament for the Lightning, picked up her second victory of this tournament and holding the Hunter College team to just 1 run. And, you know, even with 2 errors committed in the 7th inning, they're still able to hold on and get the 3-1 win. But, you know, this is a little bit of a Dolphin team on a little bit of a different level, Joe, with a little bit better pitching, a little bit better hitting, a little bit better fielding, and a team that's starting to roll and looking to get into the NCAA tournament for the 6th consecutive year.
And we mentioned before game 1 earlier today that Lehman certainly has to be better in the field, and defensive miscues nearly cost them dearly against the Hawks of Hunter College. 3 errors committed in the field by the Lightning in that game. But going in, we also said Lehman had to step it up at the plate. Not much success offensively against Hunter for Lehman earlier in the season in their 3 previous meetings, 2, of course, coming before the CUNYAC tournament, one of those meetings coming yesterday. So the Lightning and the Hawks familiar with one another entering that game, but Lehman stepped up their game at the plate against Hunter College today, putting together 3 runs on 7 base hits, 3 errors in the field. Probably something they won't get away with against the CSI team, so Lehman certainly has to clean up their play defensively. But again, if you're the Lightning, you have to love the effort you got from Diamond Villegas in the circle in game number 1. Also added a home run at the plate. Miranda Diaz, the CUNYAC Player of the Year, added a home run of her own. And those are 2 shots by the Lightning, so they're certainly capable of swinging the bats, and they're going to have to get to Nicolette Trapani in order to prolong their season against the Dolphins.
Yeah, and you know, Joe, the Dolphins have come out. They're really starting to swing the bat much better. Patricia Riches has just been absolutely on fire. Actually, in one at-bat yesterday in the game against Hunter College, they tried to intentionally walk her, and she still slammed a single into right field while they were attempting to intentionally walk her. She now has her average up to 476, Joe, her on-base percentage up to 530, and she has 24 extra base hits out of 49 base hits, and she's also scored 39 runs. So she's really become a force at the top of the Dolphin lineup, and you look up and down this lineup, Joe. A lot of players doing very well and playing very strongly here, and the umpires are going out to the field, Joe, and the managers are joining them. So while that's taking place, why don't we get you the starting lineup that will face Nicolette Trapani here this afternoon in this championship round game? And here to bring you that starting lineup, my broadcast partner, Joe Foreman. Joe?
All right, thank you, Mike. Leading off for Lehman College, the shortstop, Miranda Diaz. Batting behind her is the pitcher, Diamond Villegas. Batting third and playing second base is Genesis Paulino. In the cleanup spot and playing first base is Tiffany Adamas. Batting fifth and catching is Caitlin Vernon. Batting sixth and playing right field is Angelina Gill. Batting seventh and playing third base is Samantha Torres. Stephanie Cruz will play center field and bat eighth. The designated player, Lisette Guerrero, will bat ninth. The flex player is Karen Rivera out in left field.
Yeah, and, Joe, you look at this Dolphin team, a record now of 22-10, and they've been on fire. And, it's been quite a long time since they've lost, coming in on a big winning streak, playing pretty well, playing with a lot of confidence, playing here on their home field, and feeling pretty good about their chances here this afternoon.
And they have good reason to feel well coming into this game and feeling good about themselves, other CSI Dolphins. And you take a look at some of these batting averages. You mentioned Patricia Riches at .476, a very accomplished shortstop on the other side, and Miranda Diaz. But the Dolphins have an incredible shortstop of their own, and Patricia Riches, a player who's hitting at .476, as you mentioned. Also a tremendous player defensively and can run the base paths as well. So Riches really does it all for the Dolphins, hitting at .476 for the season, 103 at-bats. You mentioned the 39 runs and slugging at .786 as well. So Riches has been tremendous for the College of Staten Island. Also Antoinette Galbo and Vanessa Joya both hitting an even .390. Jamie Holmes at .386. Christina Severizo at .356. Gabrielle De Leon at .343. And Juliana Cretella at .322. All of those players in the lineup for the College of Staten Island in game number one against Lehman College. And it's going to be a tough task for Diamond Villegas to follow up that performance against the Hawks with a similar effort against CSI.
Yeah, Joe, this is a CSI Dolphin team that's lost 3 games in the CUNYAC conference in the last 5 years. So they're a team that don't lose very often. And, Joe, this is the first year since 2012 that it wasn't the Dolphins and Hunter College in the CUNYAC championship round. So that goes to show you what kind of upset took place here this afternoon by Lehman College, and what an opportunity Lehman has given themselves here this afternoon against the Dolphins.
Well, they certainly have to improve upon their efforts against the Dolphins earlier this season. I mentioned earlier the Dolphins defeated Lehman handily in their 2 meetings so far this year, the first of which was an 11-1 Dolphins victory. Lehman held to 1 run and only 3 base hits in that game, and once again, they commit 3 errors in the field. So Lehman really has to clean up their play defensively. I've said it more than once already, and Nicolette Trapani did start for the Dolphins in that game, went 5 innings, allowing 3 hits and a lone run. She did strike out 9 in that game, only had to throw 64 pitches. So the Lightning will certainly look to make Trapani work a lot harder than that and hopefully get more done at the plate, as 3 hits certainly won't be enough, especially when combined with 3 errors. So for the Lightning, hopefully they can improve on that here today and give themselves an opportunity to play a winner-takes-all second game against the College of Staten Island, though. Again, it would take yet another upset on the part of Lehman College to reach that point. And, of course, the second half of that doubleheader between the Dolphins and Lightning earlier this year, once again won by the Dolphins. Once again, CSI scores 11 runs on 11 base hits. Lehman with 3 runs on 7 base hits. So they did improve upon their effort in game number 1. But once again, Mike, they committed 3 errors, and we spoke about it. 100 errors and 100 stolen bases for Lehman College this season. That's really remarkable. And in game number 2, Allison Marr pitched for the Dolphins, and in 5 innings allowed 7 hits and 3 runs. All of those earned. If Lehman can get to a game 2 of this championship round, they will face Allison Marr. So they had a bit more success against Marr than Trapani, but again, going to be very difficult for them to get there.
Yeah, it's going to be a big challenge. And, Nicolette Trapani starting for the Dolphins this afternoon. She got the win for the Dolphins in game number 1 against Baruch. Yesterday, another shutout for Trapani as she picks up her 10th win of the year. And, the Dolphins, as we mentioned before, really coming out and playing with a lot of confidence. 4-year starter Nicolette Trapani will be on the mound for the Dolphins here this afternoon. And, you have to wonder how much Villegas has in her. This is her 4th game, Joe, in about 24 hours.
And that certainly makes it difficult on her, but you mentioned Nicolette Trapani also pitching yesterday for the College of Staten Island. She threw 6 innings in that start, allowing only a pair of base hits and striking out 6. That game, as you mentioned, Mike, came against Baruch, and Baruch in that game committed 5 errors. CSI won that game 8-0. They had 8 base hits in the game. So CSI comes into the tournament swinging hot bats, not only during the CUNYAC postseason, but also in the latter half of the regular season. CSI really stepped it up at the plate. We mentioned that was something they had to do coming back from Arizona, and as the weather got a bit warmer, the bats heated up for CSI as well, and they carry some hot hitters into this CUNYAC tournament championship against the Lehman College Lightning.
Yeah, and Joe, if Lehman is going to stay in this game against the Dolphins, they're going to have to play a clean game, and they did a great job in the game against Hunter. It seemed like every line drive Hunter hit, Joe, they were there to make the play. A couple of diving catches, a couple of real nice defensive plays, and the team has probably picked up a lot of confidence here this morning and really have evolved and changed into a different team after getting that first win against Hunter here this morning.
They certainly played much better softball than we saw them play earlier in the season here at the College of Staten Island, especially in the field, though they did commit the 3 errors once again. A great play by Stephanie Cruz out in center field. A rare miscue by Miranda Diaz at short, but that was one miscue among several good plays for Diaz in that game, and I think the good plays we saw more of the norm from Miranda Diaz over at short, and of course she came through with a home run as well, as did Diamond Villegas. So hopefully for the Lightning, those two players can continue their success at the plate, and they'll need to be clean in the field as well. So it won't be easy for the Lightning. Many things they need to accomplish in order to win this game against the College of Staten Island, but they'll have 2 chances to defeat the College of Staten Island. I should say only 2 games against the College of Staten Island should they win game number 1. So all the players have been introduced, and it looks like we're about set to get underway, Mike.
Yeah, and Joe, it's going to be 2 shortstops playing a key for both teams. Senior Miranda Diaz, the CUNYAC Player of the Year for the Lightning, who's already shown off her skills in a lot of ways, as has Patricia Riches. So a couple of great players with an opportunity to showcase their skills here in this 39th annual CUNYAC Softball Championship.
And both teams now heading back to their dugouts. So we already gave you the starting lineup for Lehman College, and I'll go through the defensive alignment for the College of Staten Island very quickly. As beginning at first base is Jamie Holmes. Over at second is Kristen Marr. Playing shortstop is Patricia Riches. Antoinette Galbo is at third. In right field is Juliana Cretella. In center is Christina Severizo. In left, Gabrielle De Leon. Behind the plate is Vanessa Joya. And in the circle for the Dolphins is Nicolette Trapani.
Yeah, and, Trapani coming in off of another strong year. And, Joe, this will probably be her last pitching performance in a CUNYAC game, although the Dolphins are hoping to get some extended playing time in this year's NCAA tournament. We mentioned Trapani picked up her 10th win yesterday. She's 10-6 with a 2.20 ERA. This is her 18th appearance, her 17th start. She has 14 complete games, 5 shutouts, including the shutout against Baruch yesterday. In 98 2/3 innings, she's just allowed 88 hits, Joe, 33 runs, 31 earned, walked 17, and struck out 97. And coming off of a nice win against Baruch, and the Dolphins coming in loose and with a lot of confidence, Joe, but they're also coming in against a team that is hot and has just won a huge game, really a statement game for their program.
Well, you mentioned the confidence of the Dolphins, and Lehman College can certainly enter this game with a great deal of confidence as well, and with good reason, as they defeated Hunter College earlier today. Swung the bats very well in that game, got a great effort in the circle, but that wasn't consistent for Lehman throughout the season. It was consistent for the Dolphins, at least following that Arizona trip against some very tough competition. So the College of Staten Island enters this CUNYAC championship playing very well. Haven't lost in a long time, as you mentioned. I believe their last defeat was at the hands of Moravian. So College of Staten Island entering the tournament hot, and hopefully for them, they can get this CUNYAC championship secured, only playing one more game, bringing their 2018 season to a close.
Yeah, and the Dolphins are gathering up at the mound, and Miranda Diaz is coming up to bat. And Joe, the intensity level of this game goes up immediately as Diaz steps up to lead off the first.
You're absolutely right, Mike. We mentioned her prowess in the field and at the plate. Homered in the early game against Hunter College, and we'll look to get things started for Lehman College against CSI here in the second game of the day.
So Diaz with that big home run, that was the second run of the game for the Lightning, and opened up a 1-0 lead to 2-0. She also had a single in that game, was caught stealing for a rare occasion, and she'll face Nicolette Trapani, and Trapani's first pitch is swung on and foul back to the screen, 0-1. Diaz coming into this tournament with phenomenal numbers. Her batting average now up right around 500 after the Game 1 performance. And that one's going to be fouled off out of play down the right field line. Trapani quickly ahead 0-2.
Well, not only did Diaz homer in the first game, also had that bunt single. Pair of base hits for Diaz.
So Trapani quickly ahead in the count now, 0-2. Beautiful sunshiny day here. And the 0-2 pitch is taken up high for a ball, 1-2.
And another thing that will be very important for Lehman in this game, Mike, Nicolette Trapani, of course, very tough in the circle. They need to exercise good discipline at the plate throughout this game. Don't give Trapani any easy outs.
Yeah, so Trapani now ahead in the count, 1-2. The pitch is swung on, line down the right field line, but foul. And the count will hold at 1-2.
Good cut there by Diaz. Drove that ball just foul down the right field line. Hit that ball where it was pitched.
Just underway here. Championship round of this 2018 CUNYAC Championship. And the 1-2 pitch is swung on, and that's drilled into right field, but Quintella is there, and she makes the catch for the first out. So nicely hit that time by Diaz, Joe, but Quintella equally there to make the play.
And a pair of well-struck balls there by Miranda Diaz out toward right field, the first of which landed foul, and that one caught by Juliana Quintella, making a nice running grab coming in on that ball. Got a good jump on it, out in deep right field.
So that'll bring up the pitcher, Diamond Villegas, as she takes our first pitch for a strike, 0-1. And she just had one hit, Joe, in that second game, but it was a huge one.
And it was a home run crushed over the right center field wall.
0-1 the count. The pitch, a swing and a miss, 0-2. And Trapani, really a nice pitch right over the plate and gets ahead now, 0-2 quickly.
Is it just me, Mike, or is the Dolphins' outfield positioned very deep against Villegas?
She's a power hitter, so they're playing her deep, but instead Trapani strikes her out on 3 pitches. And, you know, Nicolette coming out and looking good here in the first 2 batters, and now it's going to be the second baseman, Genesis Polino.
If that's a sign of things to come, not good for Lehman College, as
that's bounced back to Trapani on 2 bounces. She throws it over to first a little bit high, but a nice play by Holmes to come off the bag and make the tag for the final out of the inning. So the Lightning go quickly in their half of the first, nothing across. We played 1 inning of play with the score, Lightning nothing. Dolphins coming to bat. You're watching CUNYAC coverage of the 39th Annual Softball Championships, brought to you by Model Sporting Goods right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Listen now, can you hear the bluebirds? Oh, look up now, can you feel the sun? Whoa, 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 whoa. Can you feel the sun?
Here at Tim Hortons, we know what mornings are all about. Bacon. Wake up to 6 strips of crispy bacon on a toasted everything bagel. The new Bacon Everything Bagel Sandwich. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
We're back, and we're getting ready now for the bottom half of the first inning. Nicolette Trapani retires the Lightning in order, and Patricia Riches will lead off here for the Dolphins. It'll be Riches, Galbo, and Joya, the 1, 2, and 3 hitters for the Dolphins, and they will face Diamond Villegas. And Villegas, the only pitcher in this CUNYAC tournament to win 2 games so far. She started 3 and will make her 4th start in about 24 hours against the Dolphins here this afternoon. And the first pitch to Riches is taken for a strike, 0-1. Riches on fire, her batting average up to 476. as the Dolphins head into May softball, and she lines that one into the left field corner. That's it for a base hit. That's going to be off the glove of the left fielder, and Richards is going to round second, and she'll end up in there standing. So a good start here, Joe, for the Dolphins as she lined that one into the left field corner. A bobble out in left field allows Richards to go into second.
I'm not sure if that's going to go down as an error, but I think Richards was afforded an extra base in all likelihood, so we'll see, but no error up on the scoreboard yet. Regardless, a miscue by the Lightning in the field early in this game, and that will bring up Antoinette Galbo with a runner in scoring position.
Good start offensively for the Dolphins as Galbo shows bunt and takes a strike, 0-1. That time Rivera couldn't play the ball cleanly out in left, and it is going to be scored an error, so it will be a single and an error on the left fielder as Galbo shows bunt and pops it up, and Vernon makes a great catch on the ball for the out.
What a great play by Caitlin Vernon, who's had a good day behind the plate for the Lightning, and after a miscue in left field by Rivera, Vernon follows it up with a gem.
Yeah, so an interesting choice there, Joe. You lead off the game with a double, and you're bunting the second batter, and a great defensive play puts Galbo on the bench. So now it'll be Vanessa Joya with one out and a runner on second, and the first pitch to Joya is taken for a strike, 0-1. Vanessa drilled a long home run, her first of the season in the first game against Baruch. Her average now up to 390 with. As Villegas winds, and that pitch is up high for a ball, and that'll even the count up at 1-1.
Well, initially I said that baseball was getting started at 1 p.m. They got started at 12, and that game's now in the 7th inning. CSI trails John Jay 4-3 entering the top of the 7th. As
Joya swings and pops that one up foul out of play, and the count now goes to 1-2. Vanessa 30 for 77, 7 doubles, 2 triples, a home run, and 23 RBIs. And Patricia Richards down at second base with one out. The 1-2 is swung on, and that's blooped towards center field, but Diaz ranges into the outfield to make the catch for the second out. So Richards leads off with a double, but that's as far as she's gotten so far.
Well, Richards led off the game for the Dolphins with a double, but momentum would probably shift in favor of the Lightning if they can escape this half inning without allowing the game's first run. It's left to Allison Marr to pick up Richards from second.
As Marr swings and fouls that first one back up over the screen out of play, 0-1. Marr, her average up now to 270, leading the team in home runs with 3 home runs, 17 RBIs, and just 63 at-bats for Allison. The pitch is swung and lashed off the glove of Diaz and into center field. That'll be a base hit. Coming around third to score will be Patricia Richards. It's a 2-out RBI single for Allison Marr, and the College of Staten Island leads 1-0.
Marr comes through at the base hit. A tough chance at short for Diaz. At the very least, she may have been able to keep that ball on the infield, and if she did, I think she had a play on Marr over at first base, but that ball was just hit far too hard, and Diaz unable to make the play. It ricochets off her glove into center field for a 2-out single RBI for Allison Marr.
As that'll bring up Jamie Holmes, and Holmes also swinging a hot bat as of late for the Dolphins. Jamie, her average up now to 386, 15 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, 26 RBIs, and she lashes that one under the glove of the third baseman Torres into left field for a base hit. So Dolphins starting to hit the ball hard. Runners at first and second now with 2 outs, and a big at-bat coming up here for Gabrielle De Leon.
Well, De Leon will bat with runners on first and second and 2 away. Dolphins looking to add to their 1-run lead in the first inning. Already 3 base hits off Diamond Villegas, and that's 1 hit shy of what Hunter produced in the early game.
So De Leon will be the batter here for the Dolphins, and the first pitch is going to be fouled back to the screen, 0-1. De Leon batting .343 on the year, 13-67, a double, a triple, and 20 RBIs. The wind and the pitch by Villegas up high for a ball. That'll even the count up now at 1-1. Dolphins with a run across with 2 outs. You remember in that game against Hunter yesterday, they scored 5 runs in the second inning. As that ball is blooped into center field, Cruz coming over, and she makes the catch for the final out of the inning. So Villegas limits the damage to 1 run, but the Dolphins do score the first run of the game on 3 hits. They leave a couple, 1 in the books. Dolphins 1, Lightning nothing. We'll step aside, take a break. You're watching the CUNYAC Softball Championships on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
You make me wear my bike helmet.
Taught me never to run with scissors.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
And to follow the swimming rules.
You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
Here in the garage.
Closet.
Shoebox under the bed. Where anyone can get to it. How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit NCPC.
We're back, and we're getting ready now for the top half of the second inning. The Dolphins got a leadoff double from Patricia Richards, but it took a 2-out single for Allison Marr to bring her home. So the Dolphins score the first run of the game, and they lead by a score of 1-0. So it'll be 4, 5, and 6 coming up here for the Lightning, and Tiffany Adamas will lead off here for the Lightning, as Trapani had retired the first 3, and Bobby Drake also joining us here.
Yes, very glad to join you fine gentlemen on this beautiful championship day.
It really is, and it's been a great day here for the Lightning, and that first pitch will be taken inside for a ball, 1-0. Trapani winds. The 1-0 pitch is taken up high for a ball, and that'll run the count now to 2-0.
Adamas did have a base hit in the early game, 1 for 3 at the plate.
So Trapani falls behind 2-0. The pitch is on the inside corner at the knees for a strike, 2-1. Good 2-0 pitch that time by Trapani.
And, of course, you guys said it prior to the game, but the Dolphins more than likely favored in this game, but the Lehman Lightning coming in with a ton of momentum, so it could be interesting.
That's a swing and a miss, 2-2. And, you know, Bobby, how much confidence does the team get? You were here with us watching that first game, and with every passing inning, it seemed like the Lightning were picking up more and more confidence.
Yeah, they certainly were, and a little bit of a scare there for them at the end, but all in all, they played tremendous, and they pulled the upset, so we'll see here.
As Trapani takes something off that one, and Riches, fighting the sun, makes the catch for the out. So, Joe, that play wasn't as easy as it looked, and Riches made a nice play on that ball.
And the sun always plays a role in these day games. We haven't seen the sun much this year, though. It's been a very nice weekend here at both baseball and softball. We saw it affect the players yesterday over at baseball, and Rich is able to make the play through the sunlight there.
So it'll bring up Caitlin Vernon as she takes the first pitch up high for a ball, 1-0. And, you know, it was that big play by Vernon where she hit that ball down the right field line, and it turned into a triple as McClellan made a dive for it and couldn't make the play. And all of a sudden, Vernon ended up on third base, Joe, and scored the first run of the game.
We spoke about miscues in the field, and that was a mistake, I think, by Hunter there, as the right fielder McClellan dove for the ball. Not really necessary, allowing Vernon 2 extra bases.
As Vernon bunts that one back to the plate, it's a good bunt. Trapani guns and fires, but it will not be in time, so it'll be a bunt single by Vernon. So a one-out bunt gets Lehman their first at-bat and first base runner of the afternoon, and that's going to bring up the right fielder, Adrielina Gill.
And in game 1, Gill was 1 for 3, drove in a run, and I think she hit the slow roller that scored Vernon from third base. She did, as she was the next Lightning player to the plate.
DeWine, Trapani's first pitch, that's bunted foul. And it'll be 0-1.
Yeah, and Vernon doing a good job on that prior bunt. And you see that a lot in softball. If it's anywhere but back to the pitcher, you have a good shot of reaching on base.
Yeah, so 0-1 the count now on Gill as she's showing bunt here. And that pitch is taken for a strike, and that'll run the count now to 0-2.
Well, this won't be a sacrifice. Oh, the scoreboard said 2 outs. Didn't think that was right, but it's fixed. So this would indeed be a sacrifice with 2 outs, of course. You're not looking to lay down a sac bunt.
The 0-2 pitch, he still looks to bunt, so she'll be out on strike 3. So Gill out bunting for the 3rd strike, and with 2 outs now, that's going to bring up the 3rd baseman, Samantha Torres.
And I'm not sure Gill was aware of that fact, so she'll head back to the dugout, bringing up Samantha Torres. As you just mentioned, Torres hitless in 2 official at-bats in game number 1.
And Torres struggling a little bit at the bat, batting just .203 on the year. The Wine, Trapani's first pitch is swung on and foul back into the crowd, out of play, and the count goes to 0-1. We're in the championship round of the 2018 CUNYAC Softball Championships here at the CSI Softball Complex. CSI Dolphins, who have lost 3 CUNYAC games in 5 years, have taken a 1-0 lead here in the 2nd inning. The Lightning with a runner on first base and 2 out. Now we're ready to get back underway as Trapani is ready. The 0-1 pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 2.
Vernon continuing to dance between first and second base as men's baseball is now in the bottom of the 8th. Dolphins still trail 4-3, 1 out in their half of the 8th. Time potentially running out on the men's baseball season.
The wind and the 0-2 pitch is taken for a ball. The throw down to second base is in time. Vanessa Joya guns out the runner on second base from her knees for the final out here in the 3rd, or the 2nd. So for the Lightning, no runs, a hit, no one left. 1.5 innings in the books with the score. Dolphins 1, Lightning nothing. We'll step aside and take a break, and we'll be right back.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
We're back as we're getting ready now for the top half of the 2nd inning. 7, 8, and 9. Christina Severiso, Juliana Quintella, and Christian Marr will be the batters here for the Dolphins against Diamond Villegas. And, you know, Bobby Severiso has been red hot. Her batting average now up to .356.
Yeah, she certainly has been, and they're going to need her here today if they want to close out this championship game.
Villegas winds her first pitch. It's taken outside for a ball, 1-0. Dolphin, sorry, again.
Baseball tying run in scoring position, 2 outs, bottom 8.
Boy, Bobby, you've been in this position with this baseball team quite a lot, and seems the Dolphins find a way to come through here in these late innings.
Yeah, I certainly have numerous times in the past, but it's something they're not used to, so we'll see if they can pull it through here.
2 balls, no strikes. The Dolphins need to come back and win that game to force a deciding sudden death game here this afternoon as that pitch is taken for a strike now, 2-1. Villegas has thrown every inning here for the Lightning in this 2018 CUNYAC Championships as Severiso fouls that one down the right field line. Out of play, and the count goes to 2-2.
The men did not score in the bottom of the 8th. Will enter the 9th, trailing by a run against the John Jay College Bloodhounds. With a win, John Jay secures the 2018 CUNYAC Baseball Championship.
So Severiso even in the count now as Villegas winds. And the 2-2 pitch is swung on, and that's blooped towards second base. And coming over will be Polino to make the play for the out. So 1 up, 1 down for the Dolphins here in the 2nd.
And there's certainly no give in this Dolphins batting order as Juliana Cretella comes to the plate hitting well over 300 after the Dolphins sent, I believe it was 6 to the plate in the first. It was. They still have 2 hitters batting well over 300 coming to the plate leading off the second.
So Cretella now will be the batter with 1 out, no one on, and she'll take that first pitch outside for a ball, 1-0.
And it'll be important here. We'll see if the Dolphins can get something going with 1 out.
The wind and the pitch is a swing and a miss, 1-1. And, you know, Joe, down the stretch, they've been getting much more production out of the bottom part of their order.
They have, and that's been crucial to their turnaround at the plate, putting up some big hit totals, some big run totals late in the season. They'll hope for one more of those in this game.
The 1-1 pitch is swung on and foul back, and the count goes to 1-2. And, you know, Villegas is coming out and pitching pretty well here, Bobby. Looks pretty strong despite throwing in a 4th game.
Yeah, she certainly has, and she's pretty much done it all for this Lightning team as we talked about prior with that home run in the previous game.
As Cretella smacks that one through the middle, and that'll be in there for the base hit. So the 4th hit here for the Dolphins in an inning and a third, and that will bring up the second baseman, Christian Marr.
Well, the ball was smoked by Riches in the first. That one hit on a rope off the bat of Juliana Cretella here in the second. The Dolphins already, well, they have 5 hits up on the scoreboard. Mike, did you say 4 or 5?
I said 4, but it's. I think it is 4.
I think you've got it right, Mike.
As that's a beautiful catch on the bunt that time by Marr, and she'll be out for the second out on the nice play by Villegas on the bunt. And now it'll be 2 outs for Patricia Riches. Riches singled and went to second on an error in the first. She's 1 for 1. She also scored the Dolphin run, her 40th of the year.
She hit the ball very hard off Diamond Villegas back in the first inning. Just 1 inning ago, already getting her second plate appearance here.
That first pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, and we know the damage that Riches could do even with 2 outs.
She couldn't believe that last called strike.
Now Villegas with the 0-1 pitch, and that'll be down low for a ball, and that'll even the count up now at 1-1. Dolphins picked up a run in the first inning. They lead here by a score of 1-0. With 2 out as Villegas winds, and the pitch is a swing and a miss, 1-2.
Riches went out of the strike zone after that pitch. Now behind in the count, 1-2. And we've said before how tough she is to strike out.
Yeah, it looked like Villegas took a little bit off that one.
Yeah, she's just struck out twice all season as that's grounded hard to third. Played there by Torres. The throw over to first base in time for the final out of the inning. So the Dolphins get a hit, but that's all the damage they could do here in the second inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left, 2 complete in the books. The Dolphins lead by a score of 1-0. You're watching the 39th annual CUNYAC Softball Championships right here on your CUNYAC Championship station, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-One physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
Here at Tim Hortons, we know what mornings are all about. Bacon. Wake up to 6 strips of crispy bacon on a toasted everything bagel. The new Bacon Everything Bagel Sandwich. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim.
We're back and we're getting ready now for the top half of the third inning as Lehman continues to play well, getting Patricia Riches with 2 outs and a runner on first and trailing by a score of 1-0.
The Dolphins are ready with 4 base hits in this game. Have hit Diamond Villegas hard early, but Villegas has limited the damage to only a single run, scattering those 4 hits over the first 2 innings. And Samantha Torres will lead things off for the Lightning here in the second. They trail by a run.
As the first pitch is going to be taken for a strike, 0-1. Trapani has faced the minimum through 2 innings. Vernon did have a bunt single, but she was caught stealing. The wind and the pitch is a swing and a miss, 0-2.
Yeah, and I know it's been a small sample size so far, only 2 innings for Trapani, but she's looked sharp here as we've been accustomed to seeing.
No balls, 2 strikes, and the 0-2 just outside for a ball, 1-2. Torres, Cruz, Guerrero, 7-8-9 for the Lightning here in the third. And the pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 3. Trapani picks up her 3rd strikeout.
Torres simply looked overmatched in that at bat. And looking up and down this Lightning batting order, it seems as if their production will need to come from the top of the order in this game. Not great swings there by Torres. They'll hope for better from Stephanie Cruz.
So Cruz will be the batter. And she swings and misses at the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Stephanie batted .241 coming into today's action. That's Trapani now ready to work. And the 0-1 is taken on the outside corner for a strike. So Trapani quickly ahead in the count now, 0-2.
Baseball heads to the bottom of the 9th, trailing 4-3 up the hill. Last chance for the Dolphins.
And that pitch will be outside for a ball, 1-2.
We'll see if the Dolphins can work that magic that we've known for them to do.
Bottom of the order due up in that game.
As that ball's grounded on a hop to Galbo, she fires and throws over to Holmes in time for the out. 2 up, 2 down for the Lightning here in the third.
Lightning really haven't gotten much off Nicolette Trapani. Caitlin Vernon with a single on the infield, and that's been it.
And, you know, it's Nicolette Trapani in her 4th year, a starting pitcher for the Dolphins in all 4 of those years. As that first pitch is bunted foul for a strike, 0-1. And, you know, you look at the numbers, Joe and Bobby, she's one of the best pitchers in CSI history. She has incredible numbers. She's never known anything but CUNYAC championships. And here an opportunity for her to pitch the Dolphins to their 4th championship in her 4-year career.
Yeah, she certainly has been. And as we know, Jackie Cortella from last year and the years prior, she was really their workhorse out there in the circle, and Trapani taking over and just doing an excellent job this year.
Yeah, and now she's ahead of Guerrero in the count, 0-2. As Trapani right back on the mound in the circle, and the pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Trapani strikes out 2 in the inning. She now has 4 on the afternoon. Nothing across for the Lightning in their half of the third. 2.5 innings in the book. Dolphins lead by a score 1-0. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
And to follow the swimming rules.
You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
Here in the garage.
Closet.
Shuttle box under the bed. Where anyone can get to it. How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org.
We're back, and we're getting ready now for the bottom half of the third inning. And, you know, Bobby, the Dolphins are looking for offense here, leading just by a score of 1-0.
Yeah, hopefully both Dolphins teams baseball up the road a little bit, looking for some offense as baseball coming down to the wire. They're going to need a run to survive, and we'll see.
So it'll be 2, 3, and 4 here. Galbo, Joya, and Ma for the Dolphins as they look to build on their 1-0 lead. And the first pitch to Galbo is taken for a ball, 1-0. So Galbo with an opportunity to swing the bat here for the Dolphins. Ahead in the count, 1-0. And that pitch is swung on and foul up over our heads and out of play. That'll even the count up at 1-1. Galbo got her average up over 400 .390 coming into the game here this afternoon. She's 0 for 1. As for Lagos winds. The 1-1 is swung on. That's drilled to right field. Coming on and making a nice sliding catch in right field is Adrielina Gill, and the Lightning continue to get good defense.
They've gotten some good defense in the outfield during this day of CUNYAC softball play. One misplay in left field earlier in this game, but that one ultimately, I don't believe, cost the extra base to Riches. Now, actually, it may have, Mike, as that run did come around to score, so hopefully
as Joya drills that one deep to center, that's a way back and off the center field wall. Joya rounds first. She'll head it to second. It's a stand-up double off the wall for Vanessa Joya, and the Dolphins have a runner in scoring position with 1 out.
Well, it goes without saying, Joya thought that ball was over the wall. She was trotting down the first base line. Not sure it would have turned out to be a triple anyways. That took a hard bounce off that center field wall, but Joya is into second base standing with a 1-out double.
Yeah, and I'm surprised as well that stayed in the park, but regardless, the Dolphins will take it. They got something going here with the 1 away.
So Allie Marr will be the batter. Allison picked up her 18th RBI in the first inning and takes the first pitch at the knees for a strike, 0-1. Dolphins with 5 hits on the afternoon. Looking to get that second run home as that pitch to Marr is on the inside corner for a strike, 0-2. Two very good pitches by Villegas.
This is exactly how you want to pitch to Marr ahead in the count. Villegas ahead 0-2.
Villegas winds and the pitch, and Marr tomahawks that one deep to right field. Going back on the ball is Gill. She can't make the play. Coming around third and coming in to score will be Joya. It's going to be a single off the wall for Allison Marr, her second RBI of the game, and the Dolphins lead by a score of 2-0.
Dolphins have hit Diamond Villegas hard in this half inning. Joya missed a home run by about 2 or 3 feet straight away center field, and there Marr comes up just short of putting one over the right field wall, but Dolphins are dialed in at the plate right now, Mike.
So Marr will remain in the game at first base as the throw down to first base won't be in time. So Jamie Holmes the batter. Holmes singled in the first. She's 1 for 1. Dolphins pick up a big second run here in the third.
Yeah, and that ball certainly kept traveling a little more than I initially thought it would.
As Holmes chases the high fastball and misses, and she falls behind in the count now, 0-1. Marr at first base for the Dolphins with 1 out. A run home, they lead 2-0 as she skies that one into center field. Diaz drifting back on the ball and makes the over-the-shoulder catch for the second out.
And we've seen Diaz take control in a couple of those plays out in shallow center field, charging back from that shortstop position, and that's what good defensive players do. Oftentimes, they'll take charge on a ball that isn't necessarily their play to make, and right there, Diaz takes control and makes that catch for the second out.
And you know, Bobby, that was a tough play there for the shortstop with the center fielder coming in, but Diaz did make it.
Yeah, it certainly was. Ranging back towards that is always a difficult play, and that's exactly what you have to do as an infielder. You have to go out until you're called. And that wasn't the case, so she ended up making the play.
So De Leon swings and misses at the first pitch and falls behind in the count now, 0-1. The wind and the pitch just missed for a ball. That'll even the count up at 1-1. Dolphins with a run home in the third. As Villegas winds the 1-1. Is taken for a strike, 1-2. That was a tough call there.
Yeah, as we hear the fans behind us, not exactly agreeing with that call.
So now De Leon behind in the count at 1-2 with 2 outs. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and fouled back, and the count holds at 1-2.
That's a really good hack there from De Leon.
She's gotten some big hits throughout the year, Joe, for the Dolphins.
She has, especially early in the season, coming through late in games with big RBIs.
As that pitch is down low for a ball. And that'll work the count even now at 2-2. The wind, the 2-2 pitch, just down low for a ball. So Good at-bat by De Leon, working the count all the way back to full at 3-2.
And I mentioned Diamond Villegas had to throw 92 pitches in Game 1. Not too big of a number, but the Dolphins making her work early here in the Lightning's second game of the day.
Now here comes the 3-2 pitch, and that swung on one hop back to Villegas. She underhands it again to first base, as Damas is laughing as she does it for the final out of the inning. So the Dolphins add a run. They pick up a couple of hits. They leave one. 3 complete in the books. Dolphins lead by a score of 2-0. We'll step aside, take a break. You're watching the 39th Annual CUNYAC Softball Championships right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Listen now, can you hear the bluebirds? Oh, look up now, can you feel the sun? Oh, can you feel the sun?
Here at Tim Hortons, we know what mornings are all about. Bacon. Wake up to 6 strips of crispy bacon on a toasted everything bagel. The new Bacon Everything Bagel Sandwich. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
We're back, and we're getting ready now for the top half of the 4th inning, as we just have an update from baseball. The Dolphins have tied the game at 4 as they head into the top of the 10th inning. So great news for the baseball team is they're able to keep things going, and more drama here at the softball complex as Miranda Diaz comes up to bat once again. The swing and the pitch to Diaz is up high for a ball, 2-0. And, Bobby, this is not the kind of player you want to let get on base with a base on balls.
Yeah, certainly not. The last thing you want to do is abort a base on balls with no one out. So we'll see if Trapani can battle back here.
2 balls, no strikes to count. Diaz lined out hard to right in the first, and she's on top of that one, but fouls it back to the screen to make the count 2-1.
Dolphins took the lead over at baseball on a 2-out RBI single off the bat of Anthony DeMarco in the bottom of the 9th inning. So CSI getting some late inning heroics from DeMarco. Keep their season alive heading into the 10th against John Jay.
That's great to hear. We'll see if they can sneak out this win.
As that time, Trapani sails that one high for a ball, and the count goes to 3-1. Dolphins with a 2-0 lead in this game. They've had 6 hits on the afternoon, but only 2 runs, as that time Trapani goes up high and misses for a ball. Ball 4, so the dangerous Diaz draws the base on balls.
And you don't want to put a speedy runner like Diaz on base to lead off the inning, as both you and Bobby just mentioned. We saw Diaz attempt a stolen base back in the first game. A great throw, though, cut her down at second, and maybe an even better tag on that play by Jamie Durso over at shortstop to catch Diaz on the helmet.
As she's going on the first pitch, and Villegas hits that ball way back into left center field. That's going to be in for a base hit. Diaz is going to round third. The throw to the plate is cut off by Trapani, and that was going to be a close play at home plate. And for some reason, Joe, Trapani decided to cut it off.
Yeah, and I don't think Villegas had a chance of taking third base had that throw gone through anyway. So that's a tough break for the Dolphins. Poor decision by Nicolette Trapani, who just hit very hard by Diamond Villegas. And that one had a chance out in left center field as that ball was well struck. And the Dolphins will have a conference in the circle as head coach Stella Porto heads out to the mound to have a word with her team.
Yeah, sorry, Bob.
And I think you heard my frustration as I wish that ball wasn't cut off. It would have been certainly a play at the plate, but a great throw from Riches.
Yeah, you know, Riches turned, and she had it right on the line to home plate. And, you know, for the Lightning to be competitive, they need to keep it close offensively and defensively. They've been able to do that and, get production out of their top hitters. And, once again, Diaz and Villegas come through big.
Well, I mentioned it would need to be the top of the order for this Lightning team in all likelihood that got things going against Nicolette Trapani, and they've done just that. As a big blow off the bat of Diamond Villegas cuts the Dolphins' lead in half.
As the ball is bunted towards first base, played there by Holmes, the throw over to Marr in time, but the sacrifice is successful, and the tying run goes down to third base.
And that's a good job by Marr. As initially the ball was a little bit of a low throw, and she had to adjust, but she stayed with it, got the first out.
She almost got handcuffed by that ball, Bobby. Very easily could have hit off the heel of the glove and gotten away.
Definitely an underrated play.
Yeah, so now it's going to be Tiffany Adames. She hit a pop-up to Patricia Riches, who made a nice play on the ball. She's 0 for 1 and swings and misses at the first pitch and falls behind in the count now, 0-1. So the leadoff base on balls comes home to score. The tying run at third base with one out, and the pitcher swing and a miss, 0-2. Good 2 pitches there to start the at-bat by Trapani.
And with one out in the inning and a runner on third, this is a huge out for Nicolette Trapani to get. Tying run over at third base. That's Diamond Villegas, who doubled into deep left center field, driving in the first Lightning run.
Trapani ready. The 0-2 is a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Trapani strikes out Adames on 3 pitches for the second out.
And you said it, Joe, that's a big strikeout there by Trapani.
Of the cleanup hitter on top of it, as Adames did have a base hit in the first game, as did Caitlin Vernon. Vernon actually has one of the hits in this game for the Lightning.
Yeah, she reached on a bunt single and then was caught stealing and takes the first pitch inside for a ball, 1-0. And, Bobby here with an open base and Angelina Gill on base. I'm being pretty careful here with Caitlin Vernon.
Yeah, she certainly should be, and we'll see how she goes now with the 1-1 count.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. The pitch is swung on and foul back, and the count goes to 1-2. So Trapani going right at it, Joe.
Yeah, and Antoinette Galba was pretty far in over at third base. They were not going to allow Vernon to bunt. She showed bunt, pulled it back, took a swing at that 1-1 pitch, fouled it back. Trapani now 1 strike away from stranding the tying run over at third.
The 1-2 pitch is swung on and bounced towards first, foul, and we'll do it again at 1-2.
Come on, Sen, you got it.
And with the 1-2 count here, you don't want to leave anything too much over the plate. If anything, you want to work the sides if you're Trapani.
Trapani looking, the 1-2 pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 3. Big 2 strikeouts for Nicolette Trapani as she comes back and leaves the tying run at third base for the Lightning. But the Lightning score a run. They pick up a couple base hit. They leave 1. 3.5 in the books. Dolphins lead by a score of 2-1. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number 1 goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-One physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
Here at Tim Hortons, we know what mornings are all about. Bacon. Wake up to 6 strips of crispy bacon on a toasted everything bagel. The new Bacon Everything Bagel Sandwich. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
We're back, and we're getting ready now for the bottom half of the 4th inning. The Dolphins need 2-1, and, Joe, they're looking for offense.
They are, Mike, and despite 7 base hits in this game, CSI, well, make that 6. The score, I need to get that changed. I'm looking up at the scoreboard far too often, but it's 6 base hits for the Dolphins. We already discussed this, Mike, and they lead 2-1 despite 6 base hits through the first 3 innings, and Diamond Villegas has done a good job of limiting the damage. Once again, helps her own cause with a loud double out toward left center field. Picks up the RBI on the play, though. Nicolette Trapani cut off the throw on what could have been a play at the plate. However, she does bounce back nicely following that frustrating play to keep the tying run stranded over at third.
Yeah, so it's going to be Severiso, Quintella, and Marr, 7, 8, 9 for the Dolphins. As the Dolphins lead by a score 2-1, and the first pitch is way up high for a ball, 1-0. Severiso popped to second in the second inning. She's 0 for 1. Villegas ready, and the pitch is swung on and foul back, and that'll even the count up at 1-1. Dolphins have had 6 hits, Bobby, in the first 3 innings, but just haven't been able to get that big hit to bring home the couple extra runs.
Yeah, good for them. They have a 2-1 lead, but of course, when in a game like this, you're going to need to tack on a few more if you're going to want to secure that win.
Lehman playing with newfound confidence here this afternoon as that pitch is taken on the outside corner for a strike, 1-2. So Severiso down in the count now, 1-2. And the pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 3.
You have some visitors, Mike.
So 1 out here as Villegas continues her great pitching here, Bobby.
Yeah, she certainly has, and we've said it time and time again. She's such an important player for this Lightning team.
The wind and the first pitch is taken outside for a ball, 1-0. And, you know, Bobby, we talked about it before, but the Lightning just playing with more and more confidence as the afternoon goes along.
Yeah, they really are, and we saw that in the first game with what we would say we would call an upset, so they're looking to continue that in this game, and they're doing a pretty good job so far.
Quintella throws the strike.
Most definitely an upset, Bobby. That's definitely fair to say.
Yeah.
As Vernon will go out to talk to the pitcher. Joe, we have any update from up the hill?
I'll take a look right now as I finally got my iPad open. It was overheating throughout the day, but with the sun now shielded from us by the clouds, my iPad is back up and running, but I'll get an update from baseball in just a moment.
And I'm also a little bit glad that the sun doomed down a little bit as I can see the screen in front of me now.
That's usually helpful when putting together our broadcast on the production side.
So Quintella ahead in the count now, 2-0. She's 1 for 1 this afternoon. She's singled to right. And the pitch is taken on the outside corner at the knees for a strike, 2-1. Villegas now ready for the 2-1 pitch, and that's outside for a ball, 3-1. Dolphins scored 8 runs in their first game, 8 runs in their second. Villegas has done a nice job getting the big outs when she needs them, but loses Quintella, and she'll go to first base with ball 4.
And Villegas certainly does not want to issue free passes. Kristen Marr at the plate could very well be bunting here, but Patricia Rich is looming on deck at the top of the Dolphins' batting order, and if Marr does indeed lay down a bunt, it's an opportunity for Patricia Riches to get an at-bat with Juliana Quintella in scoring position over at second. We'll see if Marr can successfully sacrifice her if she's asked to do so.
Yeah, and she was in the second inning, and she is again. She fouls that one off. In the second inning, she bunted, but Villegas was able to make the catch. So she's 0 for 1, but, you know, like you said, Joe, trying to get her in scoring position for Patricia Riches.
4-4 at baseball, entering the top of the 11th now. Dolphins and Bloodhounds tied.
As Marr bunts through that one and falls behind 0-2. So Marr probably will swing away here with 2 strikes and a runner on first base with 1 out. And the pitch, he does swing away, and that's going to be fouled back up over the stands and out of play, and the count will hold at 0-2.
Yeah, so important for Marr here after not being able to get the bunt down to at least move the runner over for Riches.
0-2s as Villegas winds. The 0-2 is taken up high for a ball, 1-2.
Yeah, I think Villegas wanted that one, but it seemed a bit up, but certainly a close pitch.
There's a lot to be said for making productive outs over the course of a game, and oftentimes it's a team that does that may pick up the 1 or 2 extra runs they need.
The 1-2 pitch is Marr swings and grounds that one back to the mound. It will get the job done of a sacrifice as Quintella goes over to first base. Marr will be out 1-3 for the second out, but that will bring up Patricia Riches with the runner in scoring position.
That serves as a swinging bunt, like you said, Mike, and that will get it done, as Bobby said, now moving the runner Quintella from first into scoring position over at second. That will bring Patricia Riches to the plate. She's 1 for 2. Hit the ball hard back in the first. A rope out into left field. And on the bobble, she advanced to second. So she's officially 1 for 1 with a single in this game.
And certainly the hitter you want up if you're this Dolphins team.
The wind and the first pitch to Riches is up high for a ball, 1-0. Dolphins with a big run out at second base now with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Their best hitter batting as she swings and fouls that one out of play, and that'll even the count up at 1-1.
Quintella should be able to score from second on just about any base hit. Dolphins look to extend their lead back to 2 after the Lightning got one back in the top half.
As Villegas winds, that pitch is low and inside for a ball, 2-1.
Yeah, and with the base open, you think Villegas at least pitching cautiously to Riches.
Good point, Bobby.
Now the 2-1 pitch by Villegas as that's lined hard over to third. The throw over to first will not be in time. So that was a hot shot over to third base. Torres couldn't make the play on it by the time she gathered and threw it over to first base. Riches was able to beat it out. Quintella holds on second base. So once again, the Dolphins have 2 runners on with 2 outs.
Well, clearly they didn't pitch Riches carefully enough, as that was a shot down the third base line.
As Galbo swings and bloops that one over to shortstop, but Diaz is there and makes the catch for the final out of the inning. So once again, the Dolphins leave a couple of runners on and fail to score in their half of the 4th inning. No runs, a hit, 2 left, 4 complete in the books. The Dolphins lead by a score of 2-1. We'll step aside and take a break. You're watching the 39th Annual CUNYAC Softball Championships on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-One physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
We're back and we're getting ready now for the top half of the 5th inning. The Dolphins lead by a score of 2-0, but Bobby, through the first 4 innings, the Dolphins have already left 6 runners on base and have left some opportunities here this afternoon.
Yeah, and if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to come through with runners on base, and Trapani doing her part. As we've normally seen, she's been great out there in the circle.
So it's Gil, Torres, and Cruz, 6, 7, and 8. For the Lightning here in the 5th as she swings and fouls that first one back to the screen, 0-1. Gil tried to bunt with 2 strikes and went down on strikes in the second. She's 0 for 1.
And the Lightning will look from the bottom half of the order for some contributions in this game. It's been the top of the order that got to Nicolette Trapani thus far.
The wind and the pitch is swung on and bloop foul down the right field line and out of play. And the count goes now to 0-2. No balls, Trapani pitching well, but Bobby, as the game continues to go on and on, Lehman continues to find a way to make the big plays whenever they've needed them.
Yeah, they certainly have, and they're gonna scratch at this game, and we know the team. We've seen them last game, that the way they can play. So, and they're continuing that this game. So, of course, important for the Dolphins to find a few more runs here and there.
So we're here in the 2018 championship round, and Lehman College got here scoring a huge upset over Hunter College, and they've come right back and played another great game as the pitch by Trapani is taken just up high for a ball, and that'll even the count up now with 2-2.
Evangelina Gill at the plate from her position in the batting order down. The Lightning looking for their first base hit in this game. Only a couple in the first game.
As Trapani winds, and the pitch is swung on and fouled off the mask of Joya, so the count holds at 2-2. Lightning looking to get a base runner on here, see if they could extend the lineup a little bit. As Joya a little bit shaken up on the play, Bobby. She took that one right off the mask.
Yeah, she looked a little more frustrated than hurt that happened. I'm sure she's all right. She's a tough player.
It's on to the bottom of the 11th up at baseball. We are still tied at 4 in the CUNYAC Baseball Championship. One run would win it for the College of Staten Island in the bottom half of the 11th inning and force a final winner-take-all game in the CUNYAC Baseball Championship.
You know, yesterday, guys, teams couldn't get outs, and the hits just kept coming, and the runs just kept on coming, and, you know, what a difference a day makes. Both teams pitching and playing very well here this afternoon.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. I was going to bring that up before. In opposition to softball, where the pitching really has been dominant. And yesterday, baseball, it was all about offense. A lot of runs, a lot of hits, a lot of errors as well.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes, no one out. Gill leading off here in the top of the 5th. The pitch is swung on and fouled back once again, and Gill having herself a good at-bat.
She is, Mike, and she's fighting off some tough pitches with 2 strikes, and this is what the Lightning will need from the bottom half of this batting order. Not only some base hits to really set the table for the hitters that have gotten it done at the top of the order, but at the very least make Nicolette Trapani work out in the circle and throw some pitches.
As Trapani winds, the 2-2 is fouled off once again, so Gill having a great at-bat here, really making Trapani work, and the Lightning continuing to come out and play great softball here on this championship Saturday. As Trapani is ready, the pitch is taken just up high for a ball, 3-2.
Yeah, Trapani smirking after that one. I guess just missing up high.
Yeah, that was a close pitch and a big pitch there. And now Trapani's going to have to come back and make another one with the count full, 3-2. And Gill spoils another one, and she's had really just a tremendous at-bat.
I think even more importantly, this at-bat leads off the inning. So from the start here in the 5th, Nicolette Trapani forced to exert a lot of energy out in the circle. A good at-bat from Gill, and if she could get on, that would make it even better.
The wind, the 3-2. And that's taken, ball 4. Boy, I'm not sure where either of those last 2 pitches were, Joe.
Yeah, I think the umpire got mixed up because she took a step out, seeing if it hit her, but I think even the Lehman crowd knew that was probably a strike.
Boy, oh boy, 2 tough calls on Nicolette Trapani. Allows a leadoff base on balls as the umpire going to go over and talk, and I think head coach Stella Porto thinks that might have hit the bat and then been caught by Joya as the umpires are going to get together. And we already had a play where a runner was called safe stealing, and a call out was made by an umpire off the field. So we're going to have to see what happens on this play.
And you don't often see 2 call reversals in back-to-back games on the same day, and there will not be a reversal here, as I think Stella Porto was questioning whether or not the batter swung. I'm not sure if the ball made contact with the bat like you thought perhaps is the case, Mike, but either way, Gill will stand at first, drawing a leadoff walk.
As that pitch is bunted foul for a strike, 0-1. So let's see if Lehman could take advantage, as it looked like Trapani had 2 pretty good pitches, but couldn't get a call, and now the Lightning get Gill at first base with no one out here leading off the 5th. Trapani winds the pitch. Is swung on and blooped in the air to right field. That could be trouble, and that goes just foul. Boy, that was close. I thought from here that was fair, Bobby.
As did I. I was wondering why the runner wasn't running. At least from our angle, it looked fair, but good break for the Dolphins.
And the umpire right on the call, Joe. He was 3 feet from where the ball landed, and he called it foul. No argument from the Lightning. So the count now 0-2.
Well, I can tell you we're not the only ones who thought that was a fair ball here.
As now Torres pulls the bat back and takes that for a ball, 1-2.
A bunch of smiles around us. They're discussing it at the other end of the scorer's table, and it's been a tough day for the umpires here. Had to reverse a call, that last one.
As that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Trapani comes back to strike out Torres for the first out. 1 out now, and that'll bring up the 8th place hitter, Stephanie Cruz.
Yeah, huge strikeout there from Trapani.
The ruling of foul potentially proving costly, as of course the batter goes down on strikes.
So Cruz, the batter, as she shows bunt, takes a ball, the throw down to second base, and another great tag by Patricia Riches to get Gil at second base. So Lehman trying to be aggressive on the play, Bobby, but a nice throw by Joya and a great tag by Patricia Riches.
Yeah, and Riches with another phenomenal tag and also good sportsmanship at the end, checking if the runner was okay, but she's fired up as she should be because she really shows her abilities there, as that's 2 great tags already today.
So that gives an opportunity now for Trapani to get out of the inning here. 2 out, nobody on. The ball bunted over to first base, played there by Holmes, and the throw gets away, and she'll be safe at first base. So the Dolphins can't make the play on the bunt, and we'll wait for the official scoring.
And how big is that caught stealing now, Mike, as the Lightning could have first and third.
I was going to say that, Joe. That's a good point.
With 1 out, and instead now only a runner on first. And 2 away is... It looks like Haley Davila will get in a bat here.
Yeah, but no matter what happens, Bobby, it allows the number 9 hitter to at least bat here in the 5th inning and allow Diaz to lead off the 6th.
Yeah, that's true. That's also a good point, Mike, especially in this part of the game.
As Trapani winds and the pitch is down low for a ball, 1-0. And, you know, the Dolphins, Joe, just came off of a great defensive play but couldn't play the bunt. And now it's an opportunity here for the Lightning with 2 outs. As that's a swing and a miss, and that'll even the count up at 1-1.
You mentioned the stolen base prowess of Lehman College during the pregame earlier, and well, I think you said 100 for 108 on the season. It hasn't been a good day for them stealing bases. I think they're 0 for 3.
0 for 3? Okay.
I think it's 0 for 3 going back to the previous game on the reversed call. It was Miranda Diaz who was called out. And men's baseball, runners on the corners, 1 out, bottom of the 11th. So the men threatening to force a final winner-take-all CUNYAC championship baseball game.
So the Dolphins never say die. And that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Trapani strikes out the pinch hitter Davia for the final out of the inning. So the Lightning able to get a couple of runners on, but a caught stealing, 1 left, 4.5 in the books. Dolphins lead by a score of 2-1. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on?
We're back, and we're getting ready now for the bottom half of the fifth. Still a one-run game. The Dolphins lead 2-1. And, you know, at the top of the order coming up, Joe, for the Lightning in the top half of the sixth. Dolphins looking for runs.
And the Dolphins now at the correct total on the board. 7 base hits in this game, and only 2 runs to show for it. So CSI has really spread out those 7 hits. The Lightning with only 3 hits in this game, enough for 1 run.
Dolphins have left 6 runners on through 4 innings, and Joya behind in the count 0 for 1 as she swings and fouls that one back. It's 0-2. Joya doubled and scored a Dolphin run in the third and popped a short. 40 minutes or so, and then we'll be right back with the same 2 teams. Winner taking the CUNYAC championship.
Yeah, same result, different year at this point. So we'll see if they can pull out another win. And I believe that'll be 3 years in a row that they have taken 2 in the final day.
So 1-2 now on Joya. She fouls that last one back, and she drives that one deep to center field. But there to make the catch for the Lightning will be Cruz. So Joya hit that one right on the button, but Cruz is there for the out.
And the Dolphins continue to hit the ball well, but again, only 2 runs to show for it in this game. And another hitter who swung the bat well in this game and hit a ball very well out to right field is Allison Marr, who steps into the box now with 1 out.
Marr 2 for 2 with an RBI. So she has 2 of the 7 Dolphin hits, and she takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Villegas continuing to pitch well. And the 0-1 pitch, and that's drilled into left center field. Nobody's catching that one, and it's going to be one bounce over the wall, and it's going to be a ground rule double for Allison Marr. And I don't remember ever seeing a ball bounce over the wall.
Did that go over or under, Mike?
Maybe
No,
it went
it went over.
It did go over.
It did go over, yeah.
So Allison Marr rips a double deep into left center field. She's now 3 for 3. That puts the 3rd run on second base, and you have to think we'll see a pinch runner here for Allison Marr.
We will.
That was some shot.
Yeah, she's really been squaring up the ball great lately, and she's really an important part of their order. As Alexis Cateridge will go in and run for Allie Marr. So Jamie Holmes will be the batter. She's 1 for 2, singled and popped to short. And she's first pitch swinging and pops that one up towards the Lightning dugout, but just out of play. And Holmes first pitch swinging, but out of play, and count goes to 0-1.
Another chance for the runner in scoring position for the Dolphins. Really, as you said, Mike, haven't come through with that big game-breaking hit yet.
As Holmes swings and bloops that one behind first base, going over is the first baseman, Adames, but she can't make the play. And it was a tough play for Adames, but a chance for a potential out gives Holmes another swing.
And those over-the-shoulder grabs are never easy, and Adames had to go a long way to get to that ball and able to make the play.
Yeah, and of course, not an easy play by any means, but you never know. We'll see if the Dolphins can capitalize on that.
0-2 the count to Holmes as that pitch is just outside for a ball, 1-2. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Dolphins with a runner on second, 1 out, leading by a score of 2-1. And the 1-2 pitch to Holmes just outside for a ball, 2-2.
And now Villegas with the smirk, as we saw Trapani with the smirk a couple innings ago.
Yeah,
she felt that one was caught the plate at least.
It was a close pitch, and the count even at 2-2.
Umpires have had a tough time making either side happy.
And that's lined down the left field line, and that's going to be in for a base hit. Cateridge around third. She'll score easily. Holmes will be at second base. It's a 1-out RBI for Jamie Holmes, and the College of Staten Island leads 3-1.
And that ball was smoked by Holmes with a beautiful piece of hitting there. Right down the line and inside the bag. Certainly a fair ball.
That's the big hit with a runner in scoring position the Dolphins have been waiting for, and it looks like we'll have a pinch hitter as Nicole Malak stepped into the left-hand hitter's batter's box, and conference in the circle for the Lightning. So Malak will have to wait for her first cuts of the game, but the Dolphins extend their lead back to 2. We're getting late in this one in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Lightning will need to find some offense and find it quickly now. Only 3 hits in the game for Lehman College. The Dolphins have increased their hit total to 9. CSI now leading 3-1, and that's a big run over there at second base for CSI, and a run that, of course, Diamond Villegas would like to keep off the scoreboard.
Yeah, Bobby, and, like Joe says, the Dolphins with a 3-run lead, and with Diaz and Villegas coming up for the Lightning in the 6th, the Dolphins are looking for more offense here in their half of the 5th inning.
Yeah, that's certainly a good point, Mike, as the Lightning have their big hitters coming up in the lineup, and we said it before, all the runs count in this game, and that's a huge one-out double by Holmes.
So Holmes now 2 for 3 on the afternoon. And now the left-handed batting, Nicole Malak, will be the batter with a runner in scoring position and 1 out. And the first pitch to Nicole is taken up high for a ball, 1-0, as Villegas continuing to deal for the Lightning.
She's pitched very well in this game, has limited the Dolphins to only 3 runs, but a lot of those 9 hits have been loud base hits by the Dolphins, well-struck balls.
As that next pitch is taken for a strike, that'll even the count up at 1-1.
And I remember when we did the broadcast, when CSI faced Lehman here at the CSI softball complex, she was on the mound. She was on the circle as well. So you really got to give her credit for all she's done for this Lightning team.
Yes, that pitch is way inside for a ball, 2-1. Christina Severiso on deck here for the Dolphins. They've added a run. They're looking for more. And they now lead by a score of 3-1.
So a big run out there on second base.
The pitch to Malak is on the outside corner at the knees for a strike, 2-2. So Malak now even in the count, 2-2. Holmes is down at second base with 1 out. The 2-2 pitch swung on and fouled back over the screen and out of play, and the count holds at 2-2.
Looks like another pinch hitter on deck for the Dolphins. I think that's Taylor Pecorillo in the on-deck circle, and it is.
And Pecorillo pinch hit for Quintella in the game, as that time Malak goes down swinging, couldn't lay off the high fastball, and goes down on strikes.
As the hero of Game 1, Jordan Wilson, makes his way over, trying to congratulate him from afar.
Once again, the Dolphins go down to their last out in the bottom half of the 9th inning before Anthony DeMarco ties up the game. And the Dolphins go on to victory, and they will play in the championship game once again and looking to extend their CUNYAC consecutive championship streak. Taylor Pecorillo will be the batter here, Joe, with a big run, still sitting on second base.
Well, unfortunately for the Dolphins, Malak couldn't bring Holmes into score from second. It's now left to Pecorillo. Her first at bat of the game. She takes a called strike 1.
Yeah, and Severiso pinch hit for. Christina had been 0 for 2 against Villegas. So now Pecorillo will get a chance. And the 0-1 is drilled into center field, and that's going to be a base hit. That's going to bring Holmes to score. Pecorillo round second, and she'll hold there a 2-out RBI double for Taylor Pecorillo, and the College of Staten Island leads by a score of 4-1.
Not easy to do that pinch hitting off the bench, coming up huge for her team as the Dolphins take a 4-1 lead.
And that's another big hit with runners in scoring position, or a runner in scoring position for the Dolphins. A couple of those in this inning. They've been looking for them all day long. Finally get a pair here in this inning, extending their lead to 3 for the first time in this game. And now the Lightning really have their backs against the wall in the bottom of the 5th, and Cortella can really break this game open with a base hit here.
Yeah, and a nice move there by Dr. Stella Porto to send up the freshman pitch-hitting Pecorillo, and she wasted no time as she lines a double and an RBI and gives the Dolphins a 4-1 lead, and another big run sitting on second base. As that pitch is going to be taken for a strike, that'll even the count up now at 1-1. Quintella's been on base twice here, singled and walked. DeWine, the 1-1 pitch as Quintella fouls that one up over our heads out of play. Count goes to 1-2. We mentioned Joe, coming up in the 6th, top of the lineup here for the Lightning. Big inning for the Dolphins, adding 2 runs already, looking for more.
And they've made things a lot more difficult on moving forward.
As Quintella pops that one up in the air, Villegas is there. She's under it, and she makes the catch for the final out. But not before the Dolphins add 2 big runs, 5 complete in the books. The Dolphins lead by a score of 4-1. We'll step aside and take a break. You're watching the 39th Annual CUNYAC Softball Championships right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
And to follow the swimming rules.
You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer? Here in the garage.
Closet?
Shoebox under the bed. Where anyone can get to it. How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm...
Here at Tim Hortons, we know what mornings are all about. Bacon. Wake up to 6 strips of crispy bacon on a toasted everything bagel. The new Bacon Everything Bagel Sandwich. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
We're back here, and Bobby, the Dolphins went into the bottom half of the 5th inning with a 1-run lead, and the potential of the Lightning coming up at the top of the order. 2 big runs for the Dolphins in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, we said it, Mike. They're going to need to score a couple more runs to secure this win, and a huge bottom of the 5th inning for the Dolphins, and they now have a 3-run cushion.
So Miranda Diaz will lead off here for the Lightning. She walked and came around to score on the Villegas double, the lone Lightning run of the game in the 4th inning, and she lined out hard to right field. She's 0 for 1 officially and takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0.
Lightning certainly need to come through with at least a run or 2 in this inning to have a chance in this game. I mentioned the bottom half of the order hasn't had much success against Nicolette Trapani thus far.
Trapani winds and the pitch is grounded back to the mound, played there by Trapani. She guns it over to Holmes in time for the first out. Bobby, that's a huge first out here for the Dolphins.
Yeah, it certainly is, and a pretty tough play there, honestly, with Trapani having to range to a right and backhanding it, and then having to rush a little bit on the throw. So definitely a tremendous job there by Trapani.
So 1 up, 1 down here. Diamond Villegas, the batter, she struck out and doubled the lone Lightning run home. She's 1 for 2, and she takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1.
I think it's huge here for Nicolette Trapani. Just keep the ball in the ballpark with Villegas at the plate. She's hit the ball very well so far today.
The wind and the pitch, and that's fouled off, and Trapani quickly ahead in the count now, 0-2. Bobby, this Lightning lineup so top-heavy. Just a huge batter coming up here for Trapani if she could work her way through the first 2 batters of this Lightning lineup.
Yeah, you said it, Mike. Very crucial here for Trapani to get through this certainly toughest part of the Lightning lineup.
And that 0-2 pitch, and the Villegas on that one, just fouling it back to stay alive, and the count goes to 1-2.
Yeah, certainly a good swing on that pitch.
Dolphins looking for their 6th consecutive CUNYAC Softball Championship and the automatic NCAA bid. The Lightning making their first appearance in the NCAA championship round since 2003. You have to go all the way back to 1983, the last time the Lightning won the CUNYAC Softball Championships. And the pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 3. Beautiful 1-2 pitch there by Trapani.
Yeah, it certainly was, and she painted the outside part of that plate. Not really much of a chance there by one of Lehman's best hitters, Villegas.
9 strikeouts now for Trapani. She's allowed just 3 hits. And that's going to bring up Genesis Polino. She's 0 for 1 and sacrificed and falls behind in the count now, 0-1. And, you know, Joe, it made such a huge difference for Trapani to come out with that 3-run lead.
It did, Mike, and It was a much more daunting task to keep the top of this order at bay, knowing that you only had a 1-run cushion, but with a 3-run cushion, you can afford to make a mistake and attack the zone aggressively, and we saw Trapani do that, especially with the strikeout of Legas.
1-1 the count now, as the Dolphins lead by a score of 4-1. They won their first 2 games in the CUNYAC tournament by identical 8-0 scores, and now Trapani ahead in the count at 1-2.
And on that note before, Mike, that you said, it's always good if that softball has gotten that bid to the tournament. As for baseball, we had such a talented team about 2 years in a row, and we never really got the chance, even though we did win the conference 3 years in a row.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in a minute as Trapani gets Polina looking for the final out of the inning. So the Lightning go down quickly in their half of the 6th. 3 up, 3 down. The Dolphins 3 outs away from winning their 6th consecutive CUNYAC championship. They lead 4-1. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back.
Listen now, can you hear the bluebirds? Oh, look up now, can you feel the sun? Whoa, 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 whoa. Can you feel the sun?
We're back, and we're getting ready now for the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Dolphins lead by a score of 4-1, and, you know, Joe, after getting through the top of that Lightning order, the Dolphins have put themselves in prime position to win their 6th consecutive CUNYAC championship.
With a 3-run lead for CSI and potentially more coming if the Dolphins can get on the scoreboard in the bottom of the 6th, it's going to be a very difficult task for Lehman to get even in the 7th with the bottom half of the order coming up.
So the Dolphins will send up a pinch hitter here for Christian Marr as Erica Olsen will come into bat to lead off here in the 6th. The wind and the pitch to Olsen. She's swinging a miss 1-1. And, you know, Bobby Olsen, one of the freshman players for the Dolphins and has shown some ability, especially at the plate.
Yeah, she certainly has, and pretty decent year. Batting .240 with 9 ribbies and 7 runs, so you said it. Coming up in a big spot, of course, up 4-1, but they could use a few more.
2-1 the count, and it'll be back to the top of the Dolphin order as the Dolphins looking for more here. As that pitch to Olsen is swung on and fouled off out of play, and that'll even the count up at 2-2. It was the middle of that Dolphin order once again, and a big day by Ali Marr in the designated player spot as Olsen swings and misses, and she'll run down to first base, but the throw in time. So Olsen goes down on strikes 2-3 for the first out, and that'll take us back up to the top of the order and Patricia Riches.
Definitely can't count the Dolphins out in this inning. Top of the order coming up. Patricia Riches has had a great day at the plate and an opportunity for the Dolphins to add some insurance. Here in the bottom half of the 6th, they are 3 outs away from securing yet another CUNYAC championship.
And looking ahead to the top of the 7th, it'll be Tiffany Adamas, Caitlin Vernon, and Adriana Gill, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. So Trapani will go through the heart, or the middle, I should say, of the Lightning order as the first pitch to Riches is taken up high for a ball, 1-0. 1-0 count, and the pitch is a swing and a miss, 1-1. The winner, as you mentioned, will get the automatic bid to the NCAA championship. That selection show will take place on Monday morning. So if you go to csidolphins.com early in the afternoon, if the Dolphins could hold on here through the final inning, You'll see where the Dolphins are going to play and when. The games generally are Friday or Saturday. As the wind and the pitch to Riches is fouled up over our head and out of play. And the count goes to 1-2. And just like the CUNY tournament, Joe, double elimination tournament in the NCAAs.
I tuned in with the Dolphins on the road last year in the tournament. Certainly entertaining to watch. And we were lucky enough to cover a men's tournament basketball game earlier this year as well.
As that pitch is swung on, hit on a hop to third. And the throw over to first base, not in time that time, as the throw a little bit wide. And, you know, Bobby, that was just a one hop to Torres, but she couldn't get the throw on the bag, and that opens the door for the Dolphins.
Yeah, certainly don't want to give away outs at this point. Already down 3, and we'll see if the Dolphins can capitalize.
So that's going to be an error on the third baseman that drew the first baseman off the bag for the Lightning, as Adames could not stay on, and now Galbo drills that one to center field, but Cruz is there and makes the catch for the second out. So Galbo hit that one hard, but right to Cruz, 2 out now for the Dolphins, and it'll take a 2-out hit from Vanessa Joya for the Dolphins to extend this inning.
And I almost expected the Dolphins to try and bunt there. It's typically what they've done with a runner on first and less than 2 outs, especially with a hitter like Vanessa Joya on deck. But that time, Galbo swings the bat and skies one out to center for out number 2.
So Joya the batter, and she'll take the first pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. And, you know, Bobby, this might be the last inning we see Villegas, but what an effort from her. She pitched 4 complete games for the Lightning and, you know, really took a very difficult CSI Dolphin lineup and really kept them in check all afternoon here.
Yeah, she certainly has, and you can't even say enough about what she's done, and just pitching 4 games in this tournament alone for this Lightning team is just an incredible effort. So
yeah,
much credit to her.
And pitching the Lightning into the championship round for the first time since 2003, so quite an accomplishment. As the count now 1-2 and on Joya.
And yeah, she's given up some hits, of course, as 10 on the board for the Dolphins, but she's also kept her team in the game. They're only down 3, so we know this Dolphins lineup. It could have been a little bit messier, but she's done a fine job.
1-2 the count, and the pitch to Joya is swung on and drilled down the line, just foul. And the count holds at 1-2.
Joya right on that last pitch. Unable to keep it fair, but a shot like that down the line probably could have scored Riches from first. That ball really got tucked in the corner there behind the tarp.
Yeah, Riches with tremendous speed on first base for the Dolphins now. 2 outs, 1-2 to count, and the pitch is way outside. And going to second base will be Joya. Nice throw down, but it won't be in time, as on the wild pitch, that will put Patricia Riches in scoring position, and a pretty big run sitting out at second base for the Dolphins.
Yeah, it certainly is. They could definitely use another one here. Can never have enough insurance runs.
2 balls, 2 strikes to count on Joya as Villegas looking in for the sign. And the 2-2 pitch is ripped down the left field line, but foul. Just foul, and the count holds at 2-2.
Joya just missing again.
Yeah, tough at bat here for Joya. She's been on it for a couple pitches, just missing those hits.
Yeah, she's been squaring up the ball very well, and you know, Bobby, you get into these, into the NCAA tournament and into the finals of these kind of championships, the pitching gets a lot better. As that pitch is swung on and drilled into right center field by Joya, and going back and making the catch is Angelina Gill for the final out of the inning. So Lehman retires the final out in fine fashion defensively, and kind of goes with the day they've had all day long, as they played very well. So the Dolphins don't score. They leave 1. 6 in the books. Last chance for the Lightning. Dolphins lead by a score of 4-1. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Here at Tim Hortons, we know what mornings are all about. Bacon. Wake up to 6 strips of crispy bacon on a toasted everything bagel. The new Bacon Everything Bagel Sandwich. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons. Here at Tim Hortons,
We're back, and we're getting ready now for the top half of the 7th inning. Nicolette Trapani, who pitched a shutout in the first game against Baruch, is now 3 outs away from pitching the Dolphins to their 6th consecutive CUNYAC championship.
And the Dolphins have had themselves a good day out here against Lehman College. Perhaps they expected to score a few more runs. Only 4 up there on the scoreboard for the College of Staten Island. Scored 11 against Lehman twice earlier in the season, but 4 looks like it just might be enough for Nicolette Trapani, who once again has been phenomenal in the circle. And as you said, Mike, CSI 3 outs away from another CUNYAC championship, and it's 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Lightning.
So Tiffany Adamas will lead off. She's 0 for 2 on the afternoon. As Trapani's first pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 1. Trapani has struck out 10 Lightning batters here through the first 6 and has a 4-1 lead as that pitch is taken outside for a ball. That'll even the count up at 1-1.
And if Lehman does indeed go on to lose this game, they've given a very good accounting of themselves here on the final day of this CUNYAC tournament, playing the Dolphins a lot closer as well than many expected. Still a chance to get back in this.
1-2 the count as Adamas swings through that pitch.
Yeah, they certainly have, Joe. It's almost like what we were talking about yesterday on the broadcast in baseball, Finlandia making a name for themselves as well.
The wind and the 1-2 pitch is popped up in the air. Coming forward is Trapani, and she makes the catch for the first out. Big leadoff out, and that's going to bring up the catcher now, Caitlin Vernon. Vernon reached on a bunt single and struck out. She's 1 for 2.
Vernon's done a good job at the plate and behind it for the Lightning in this game. Has caught very well, made some nice plays from behind the plate. A diving catch early in this game on a pop-up in foul territory, and she'll look to get things going for the Lightning 1 away in their half of the 7th.
The wind and the pitch is lined off the glove of Holmes, and it's played over to Ma, and she flips it to Holmes, who barehands it for the second out. So that's going to be a 3-4-3 put out for the Dolphins, and they're now 1 out away.
Good job by Holmes just to get a glove on that ball, and nicely backed up by Marr as well. And then Holmes barehanded, as you said, Mike, and 1 more out for the Dolphins.
Certainly a flashy out there. We'll take it. And the Dolphins are 1 out away here from another championship.
Adrielina Gill, the batter, and the first pitch is taken just down low for a ball, 1-0. Dolphins looking for their 20th NCAA, or I should say CUNYAC title, and more importantly, that automatic NCAA bid that goes along with it. As that pitch is taken inside for a ball, 2-0, and boy, oh boy, those pitches were both pretty close.
Trapani unhappy with the home plate umpire. Wanted both of those calls. You could see her reaction. Very animated out there in the circle, even late in this game with the Lightning down to their final out.
Yeah, you know what, Joe? The final out isn't made until the final out is made, and Trapani doesn't like being behind in the count, 2-0.
Yeah, throwing her hands up, and I could see her saying to the ump, "Come on, where is that?" So she'll look to fight her way back in this count and get this last out.
Yeah, so she's down in the count now, 2-0. As Trapani now ready. The 2-0 pitch is swung on. It hit hard past the diving Riches and into center field. That'll be in for a base hit. Nice piece of hitting by Adrielina Gill. That gives the Lightning another shot. They're 1 batter away from bringing the tying run to the plate.
That ball hit sharply straight through the middle of the diamond, and Lightning need 1 more base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. Samantha Torres comes to bat, showing bunt.
As that pitch is bunted up in the air and Holmes unable to make the play, it'll be a foul ball, 0-1. Torres has struck out in both of her at-bats. She's 0 for 2.
Yeah, and if Holmes wasn't charging in so much, she would have made that last play. But charging in rightfully so as she squared around the bunt.
Yeah, she kind of went in a circle towards that ball and allowed it to hit the ground, but Trapani ahead in the count, 0-1. DeWine, the 0-1 pitch is a swing and a miss, 0-2. So the Lightning down to their last strike.
And the crowd getting into it here, realizing this could be the last strike of the game.
Trapani ready, and that pitch is bunted foul.
That's game.
And that's the game, as that will be the 11th strikeout, and the College of Staten Island, for the 6th consecutive time and the 20th time in their history, win the CUNYAC championships as they defeat Lehman College by the final score of 4-1.
And a great showing by the Dolphins once again, and they demonstrated today they don't need to score 11 runs. They get great pitching as well, and once again, it is the senior Nicolette Trapani with a tremendous effort in the circle. She only needed 2 runs of support to pick up the win in this game. She got 4, 10 base hits for the Dolphins as well, and that was enough to defeat Lehman College after they gave a great accounting of themselves on this day, Mike. The Lightning also played very well today, easily their best showing against the Dolphins so far this season in this CUNYAC championship game, and unfortunately it wasn't enough. Diamond Villegas, once again, stellar in the circle, only allowed the 4 runs and 10 base hits, scattered those hits throughout the game well. She also had a home run on the day earlier against Hunter College, so a very good showing by the Lightning, but this Dolphins team just too tough.
And you know, Bobby, Nicolette Trapani picking up her 2nd win of the tournament, and we mentioned it earlier. She's been a 4-year starter on the CSI Dolphin team who's never known anything but CUNYAC championships and NCAA tournament bids.
Yeah, certainly not a bad feeling, and you really can't say enough about the job that Trapani has done. She was, I know we sound like a broken record, but she was awesome today. She was absolutely phenomenal out there in the circle for her team, and the Dolphins did what they needed to do to win, and here they are with another CUNY championship.
You know, Joe, this is a Dolphin team, we mentioned it a couple of times in the broadcast, that have only lost 3 conference games in the last 5 years. And you mentioned the NCAA tournament last year was a tournament the Dolphins went in, won the first game, and then dropped 2 heartbreaking games. And, you know, this is a team that's won a game in the tournament the last few years, but looking for a way to break through into the regional round.
And they certainly entered the tournament swinging the bats well. They've gotten great pitching, especially in the latter portion of this season. Nicolette Trapani and Allison Marr giving the Dolphins great work in the circle during 2018. And I mentioned how many of these Dolphins hitters with averages well over 300. You look down the batting order, Riches, Galbo, Joya, Holmes, De Leon, Severizo, Quintella, all swinging the bats extremely well for the Dolphins, really for the majority of the season. Outside of the opening trip over to the West Coast, the Dolphins came back home and swung the bats extremely well, put runs and hits up on the scoreboard in large quantities just about each and every game, and the College of Staten Island once again earns a CUNYAC championship due in part to both their hitting and their pitching. Really a complete team. Also great defensively. They've done it all this season.
And, you know, Bobby, this is a team that's really made it at least into the championship round in every year since 2008, and, you know, have since that time won 9 CUNYAC titles, and you know that says a lot for the coaching and head coach Stella Porto and Charlie Matera and the rest of the staff. And you know you can't do it without coaching, and boy, it's hard to argue with that record of success.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, Mike, as I was going to mention head coach Stella Porto. I know we give the players a lot of credit, and deservedly so, but she also deserves a lot of the credit as she's done a fine job and a magnificent job as she gets the ice thrown on her as we talk about her. But yeah, she deserves all the credit in the world for what she's done with this Dolphins team.
Yeah, and you know, these coaches, Joe, they really do it out of love. And we want to also mention Caitlin Corsia, the pitching coach, Gerald Tingos, of course, a old friend of Bobby here, pitcher from the old Dolphin team, and Alexander Conahan. And, you know, so much work goes into this and so much success to make this program a success. But boy, the consistency of a program to win 6 consecutive titles, and you saw here earlier how the bounce of a ball or a tough play can prevent you from winning, and to be able to win 6 consecutive years, really a testimony to this CSI Dolphin team.
Well, you mentioned the consistency of this Dolphins team, Mike, and that's something I've noticed over my 3 years covering Dolphins softball. But so often we talk about the necessity of making routine plays in the field look routine, executing plays such as sacrifice bunt, something the Dolphins do very often, and we've seen that throughout 2018. Also, throwing strikes, and the Dolphins have done that, attacking the strike zone and not affording the opposition extra outs. And the Dolphins have done all of those things extremely well, and that's a big part of the reason why they find themselves CUNYAC champions yet again, and also a testament to the coaching that they've had, making those routine plays and really doing the little things that are necessary to bring home consecutive championships and avoid being overcome by those bad bounces over the years and things like that you just mentioned as things that can go against you, at times have gone against this Dolphins team, but with the play on the field, they've overcome that. It's been really a great job by the College of Staten Island once again this year, and I've known nothing but CUNYAC championships covering this team, and many of the players on this roster have known nothing but CUNYAC championships, really all of them, since they've won now 6 in a row. So it has to feel good to be a member of the CSI softball team and a fan of the team as well, as we witness yet another CUNYAC championship victory.
Yeah, and Bobby, as the Dolphins out there celebrating once again, it comes down, and we talk about it all the time, pitching and defense, and you look up in that E column for the Dolphins here this afternoon. Dolphins don't commit an error, and it was a close game, a one-run game really most of the way, and the Lightning were looking for that big error, but the Dolphins never gave it to them.
Yeah, that's another good point, Mike, and that's a huge difference in this game. If a team doesn't make errors, especially in a championship game, it's going to help them. And of course, as you said, that's their 6th in a row, but formally playing and winning 3 in a row, honestly, each one feels better and better. So just happy for the Dolphins here today.
As Nicolette Trapani picking up the win for the Dolphins here, and she wins in the pitching circle the CUNYAC championship for the Dolphins. And we know that they're going to have an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament, and now the excitement builds through Monday, Joe, as we wait for the selection show and find out where and who and what teams are in the bracket.
And NCAA tournament time is always an exciting time. Of course, that excitement compounded earlier in the year. Easily the best time I've had this year, traveling down to Cabrini in Pennsylvania and covering that men's basketball game in the NCAA tournament, a thrilling game. So we'll see where the Dolphins travel for their NCAA tournament game, and if we can't cover it, we'll do everything to bring you the information necessary to watch that game online. And last year we were able to do that and watch that game live stream. We didn't cover it, but it was available to us, and that's great. So hopefully that's the case again this year, as the fans would love to follow their team through the NCAA tournament. Hopefully more than just a single victory this year. We'll see if they can move forward with more than just that in 2018. But again, a great close to another phenomenal season for the Dolphins.
As we just get a little bit of information here, Patricia Riches will be the MVP of this 2018 CUNYAC tournament. And, Bobby, what can you say? She's obviously such a tremendously talented player, offensively, defensively, a tremendous amount of speed. And, if the Dolphins are going to do anything as they attempt to step up in competition and do damage in the NCAA tournament, it's going to start with Patricia Riches.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, Mike. And it's no shock to us that she wins MVP, as she's done everything for this team. And there's really no words to say the type of player that she is. And she's been absolutely magnificent for the Dolphins. And you said it, they're going to need her in the tournament.
Yeah, as we out and we see Lehman picking up their runner-up medals. And, Bobby, it, of course, doesn't feel good the day that you fall short in the championship round. But, this Lightning team could look back at themselves, and maybe this is something that could really change the whole level of this Lightning softball program.
Yeah, that's for sure right, Mike. And taking a look at them now, they still have their spirits and their hopes up as they're smiling, getting called, and cheering on their teammates, and that's always good to see. And of course, they would have liked to come out with a championship, but just a credit to them, and glad to see them still happy here. And they really did compete in this tournament.
Yeah, and we should also mention that the baseball game probably about to get underway, and the women's softball team, not the only team going for a CUNYAC championship here this afternoon.
Yeah, hopefully baseball can get it done. We've seen what they could do in the first game coming back, as I said, we've used to that the past 3 years, and we'll see if they can sneak out another one here today.
Yeah, so as we see the Lightning posing in front of the CUNYAC banner as they come in as the runners-up here in this 2018 season, and really doing a phenomenal job, and really shocking Hunter, Joe, in the first game here this afternoon.
And that game was one of the most entertaining games, if not the most entertaining game in this tournament. The Lightning, as you said, Mike, upsetting Hunter College, a team that many expected would face the Dolphins in the CUNYAC championship final once again, the Dolphins have had their way with Hunter in the CUNYAC finals, of course, over the last several years, but it was Lehman College today moving on to take on the Dolphins. And again, their best showing against the Dolphins so far this season, allowed 22 runs combined to the Dolphins in the 2 previous meetings between the Lightning and CSI. And today, Dolphins only score 4 runs, but behind great pitching from Nicolette Trapani, once again, it was enough on this day, and the Dolphins secure their 6th CUNYAC championship in a row.
So the College of Staten Island now being introduced as they're going to come up and accept their championship trophy, their 6th consecutive CUNYAC championship, and the automatic NCAA bid that goes along with it. And, you know, you're only as good as your pitching, and Nicolette Trapani and Allison Marr have given the Dolphins a lot of great pitching here in 2018.
They have, and in this game, I have the final line for Nicolette Trapani. 6 innings pitched, 1 run. It was earned on 3 base hits. She walked 2, struck out 10, only had to throw 72 pitches in this victory over the Lightning. So another great effort from Nicolette Trapani. And once again, the College of Staten Island overcomes Lehman College in the CUNYAC championship. And I'm taking a look here at the stats. For some reason, they only had 6 innings worth for Nicolette Trapani. I'll have to check that again and refresh to get the full 7-inning line, but that was the line through 6 innings. Either way, a complete 7-inning effort from Nicolette Trapani in this game over Lehman College. Men's baseball going on up the hill. John Jay threatening in the first inning. Runners on 2nd and 3rd with 2 out in the top of the 1st. So we'll shift our attention there following this game, but the Dolphins are being presented with medals and the championship trophy, of course, as they are the 2018 CUNYAC champions.
Yeah, and, you know, we already mentioned Patricia Riches picking up the MVP award in this tournament. So another nice job by Patricia. And, you know, a lot of pressure on her, Bobby. You know, she's the player that the Dolphins count on. And, you know, she was able to come through once again and lead the Dolphins to another championship.
Yeah, you're certainly right, Mike. And she's done it all. And back to our focus points that we were talking about before, that they were, of course, going to need her as she's their horse in this lineup, and even defensively up at shortstop. And she certainly played the way she's been playing, and she came up huge for the Dolphins.
So the College of Staten Island, Joe, will get at least another couple of games in this season, and, you know, they just continue to win. And, you know, you mentioned earlier you got to really go back you know, quite some time since this team has suffered a defeat, and, you know, their pitching has gotten better. They're picking up in the field, and they're really peaking at the right time as they head into the tournament.
Well, you mentioned in the NCAA tournament last year, the Dolphins winning their first game before dropping a pair of heartbreaking games. But if the Dolphins do the things well that they've done well here all season long, swinging the bats and getting good pitching in the circle, there's no reason to believe they can't improve upon last year's effort and take a pair of games in that opening bracket of, I believe, 4 teams is how that tournament is set up. You mentioned double elimination play, much like the CUNYAC tournament. So we'll see if the Dolphins fare a bit better in this year's tournament. Certainly played some entertaining softball last year, and fans of the team will hope for more of the same this year. Also, we'll hope for the ability to follow those games. Again, all of that information will be available at csidolphins.com, and that will be posted as soon as it's made available to us. And we hope to be able to follow the team on the road once again this year, at least through an online stream, as we provided the streaming for the home games this year. That may not be the case in the tournament. We'll see. But, again, any information regarding online streaming of the NCAA softball tournament will be made available at csidolphins.com.
Yeah, as you hear Allison Marr get introduced out on the field, and another big game by Marr. She didn't pitch here in this game, Bobby, but she sure came up big with her bat.
Yeah, she sure did. And I believe 3 hits and 2 doubles. I could be mistaken, but regardless, she came up huge up at the plate, and we knew that they were going to need her to succeed and secure this win, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and, you know, Bobby, she came up with 2 outs in the first inning after Patricia Riches was standing on second base with a leadoff double, and she came through with that big RBI that drove home the first run of the game, and Dolphins never really looked back.
Yeah, that certainly was the case, and we spoke about it prior to the game. If they just do the things that they've been used to doing, they were pretty much going to win this game that we thought, and that's exactly what happened.
So as we see the College of Staten Island introduced out on the field as they've won their 6th consecutive CUNYAC championship, Athletic Director Charles Gomes out there to join them. as we get the MVP award as Patricia Riches wins the award, and another huge series for Riches, and she's been huge for the Dolphins, Joe, in the 2 years we've watched her play.
She has hit nearly 500 this year with a sky-high slugging percentage, on-base percentage, gets it done in the field, on the base path, really does everything for this Dolphins team. And it should be noted, too, that Riches spent a large part of last season hitting 3 and 4 in the batting order, hit leadoff nearly the entirety of this season, something that we saw when the team returned from Arizona. I don't think Riches hit anywhere other than the leadoff spot for more than one game. I know she was moved from that spot once or twice, but I don't think she was out at the leadoff spot any more than that, at least here at home. And she did a great job in that role as well, and had some great hitters behind her as well, giving her protection in that batting order and forcing opposing pitchers to go after her, as of course you don't want to put the leadoff batter on for any team to open up a game. Riches had great protection from hitters such as Antoinette Galbo and Vanessa Joya hitting directly behind her, 2 and 3 in the batting order for most of the season. Also, Jamie Holmes batting 4th for the Dolphins in the cleanup spot this year, did a great job for the College of Staten Island as well. Several big hits for Holmes this season, as well as Vanessa Joya ahead of her, and Antoinette Galbo also hitting up at 390. So the top of this Dolphins batting order, 1 through 4, giving the opposing teams that they face this season fits, and no easy outs in this Dolphins batting order top to bottom throughout really the entirety of the year.
So the College of Staten Island wins their 6th consecutive CUNYAC championship as they defeat Lehman College by a final score of 4-1. The Dolphins will advance into NCAA tournament play. The selection show will take place this Monday morning, and we will have the location and the game starts by Monday night. And the Dolphins will be going on the road as they look to play in the NCAA Division III tournament. So that's going to wrap things up here from the CSI Softball Complex. For Bobby Drake and Joe Foreman, this is Mike Babuski saying so long and thanks for watching. Don't forget to tune in Monday to CSIDolphins.com for the latest information as to where this CSI Dolphin team will go to play in the NCAA tournament. And don't forget to switch over now and watch the CSI men's baseball team as they look to extend their consecutive CUNYAC championship as they play John Jay in the final CUNYAC baseball game of the 2018 season. Have a great afternoon, everybody, and we'll see you soon.